And now, Planet Valenti Television presents Planet Valenti Television. With the stars Audrey Meadows, Joyce Randolph, Art Carney, and the star of our show, Dan Valenti. Thank you very much. Right here, our show tonight. Oh, wait, that's a different show altogether. Variety shows. Wow, where did they go? Anyways, thank you for joining us tonight. We've got some variety planned for you here on Planet Valenti Television. Also, the somewhat home of planetvalenti.com. I am Dan Valenti here at your service once more. This Thursday evening started out as rain. Looked pretty good at some point during the day. The rains held off. Thursday got underway on time. Not well attended from the beginning, but we got reports that it picked up a little bit later on. We don't know what mayhem might develop as of 8 o'clock tonight. That's when the fun usually begins on third Thursday. But we'll explore some issues we hope you will have some curiosity about. And as we've said this before, we're going to walk over here. Where is my drink? I got to walk off the set for a minute. I need to wet my whistle. And stay with me. Yes, we are here. Back again. The duality of man, right? The white and the black. So let's just taste some of our elixir to kind of ease up the throat a little bit. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. Oh, well. Yes, thank you. You were impressed by that as much as I was. But as we were saying, here to educate, inform, and otherwise fill you in, as we do on the planet every day with new content we do here once a week on the television, sharing with you information, news, and commentary you will not get anywhere else. And let's go to a little bit of news right now. You can hear the newsroom, wire machines clicking. And just quickly, some issues before we go to our film. The curious case of the Veterans Affairs Director, Roseanne Frieri. And we've made this point before. We shall make it again. You ask the veterans community, she has her supporters, she has her detractors. The issue in this case is the manner in which she was dismissed from her job. And we use the past tense, ladies and gentlemen, because she was, according to our sources, dismissed on Tuesday. Now, let me take you through a little sequence of how this developed. She goes on vacation on August the 8th. That's when the empty suit, Tess, as we call him, our fearless mayor, decides to send her the certified letter notifying her that she is on suspension and she faces disciplinary action up to termination when she's not there. She gets back from vacation. One day after she gets back, she gets a visit from the Sheffield Shuffler, who is also known as the personnel director in Pittsfield, John D'Angelo, asking her to accompany him to the mayor's office. Now, again, the mayor himself, for whatever reason, maybe he just doesn't have the guts to do it, doesn't confront her directly with that. He sends his lackey up there. Now, Roseanne said she wouldn't go. She wouldn't go to the meeting because she was afraid of what had happened, according to what she is saying, at a previous meeting where she was bullied, intimidated, basically finger pointing, invasion of personal space, all of that stuff. Again, allegations. She wanted a third party there and or her lawyer. The mayor said, "You can't have your lawyer here at this meeting." I don't know if that's allowed or not. Why couldn't she have the lawyer? Anyways, she has a termination hearing set for August the 15th, and that is postponed. We don't know why it was postponed, but it was. And rescheduled, I'm just reaching down for a note here that dropped, rescheduled for a week later. That would be tomorrow, which is August the 22nd, I believe. Yeah. They kind of buzzed that out, you know? They buzzed the meeting out again. It's not going to take place tomorrow. I heard from a couple of well-placed sources who would have reason to know that the day before, check that, the day after, the first business day after the first meeting that did not happen on the 15th, that would be Monday of this week, she was informed, I guess through her attorney or perhaps directly, suddenly of the termination hearing not taking place on August the 20th, but on Tuesday, August the 19th of this week. Not a heck of a lot of notice, wouldn't you say? And we heard, again, from sources that we will not name at their request, but after Bill Everhart's editorial on Monday in the Berkshire Eagle, which essentially supported Frieri and criticized the mayor for the manner in which she was dismissed, we heard that the mayor, once again, this is sounding like a broken record, went ballistic. That's what we're hearing. He won't talk to us on these stories, and we would love to hear from him and get his own view, but he doesn't talk to us. He's now not talking to the Berkshire Eagle. Have you noticed the last couple of bylines and stories? Today's by Jim Theory, and the mayor could not be reached for comment. So he's throwing, again, another hissy fit. The moat is out there. It's full of alligators. They have drawn up the drawbridge, and they're watered down and buttoned down and shuttered down in the corner office in a purely defensive mode right now. It's everybody else's fault, including the planets, of course. That goes without saying. And we shoulder that responsibility with pride, I will tell you that. So the meeting didn't take place on Monday the 15th. It won't take place tomorrow. It was set up on very short notice and very little publicity, and she got her termination, we heard. Okay, perhaps it's justified. I don't know that. Perhaps it's not. But the point is, you don't dismiss personnel in this way, at least from what we're hearing. John D'Angelo would not return our calls for comment. Mayor Bianchi would not return our calls. So we're going with what other people are telling us. And we hear through sources now, this isn't the end of it. She's not going to walk away. And I would not be surprised if the mayor is named personally in a lawsuit. And I'll tell you, the city insurance or the bonding, whatever he has, does not cover his costs if he is taken to court on a civil rights complaint. So that's where that story stands. And meanwhile, you have the veterans out there who are caught in the middle unfairly. And the mayor is waving these two letters from veterans organizations. One of them was Post 68, the Legion, and another one, dated 2 years ago, that just make a general complaint against the veterans agent without being specific, without itemizing the charges. And so this would strongly suggest that this has been in the works for 2 years. If the mayor had taken those veterans groups seriously, the time to act was 2 years ago. So it looks like it was just, okay, fellas, will you sign this letter for us because we want to set her up so we can get rid of her and then bring them out at the appropriate time. That is not, if that's what happened, that is not how a civilized city treats its personnel. Another case is Craig Gaetani, who made a complaint before the Human Rights Commission a month ago and filed I guess it's a written document with his concerns in the manner he was treated by the corner office. And again, he is on record saying that when he went to discuss with the mayor his ideas for improvements at the sewage facility that could save the city millions of dollars, and we might add that Mr. Gaetani was the builder and co-designer along with Dr. Lawrence K. Wang. Look up Dr. Wang on the internet and find out his credentials. And Milos Croft of the city's Cleveland plant. And according to those gentlemen, saved the city more than $100 million at the time through Croft's technology. But he was thrown out of the corner office, finger pointing, invasion of personal space. What is going on? What is going on? You listen to the guy. He deserves a hearing. Maybe his ideas won't do what they say he can do. We don't know that, though, do we? And for whatever reason, the mayor, according to Mr. Gaetani, immediately, when Craig Gaetani showed up for the meeting to discuss his ideas earlier this year, I believe it was, the mayor gets in his face, starts screaming and yelling that he went out to the water treatment plant in the company of Melissa Mazzio, city council president, without 24 hours notice, without permission. This is a guy who's conducted 150 tours of engineers from all over the world of that facility. Now we got the mayor in his face for some reason. This guy who's claiming that he and Dr. Wang can save the city millions of dollars more on the required upgrades of the sewer treatment facility. He gets in his face and starts going left to right. We heard that notes were taken during that meeting. The mayor's chief aide, adjutant, director of administrative services at the time was Mary McGinnis. She left that job after a year right quick and is relieved to be out of it. But we were told that minutes were taken of that meeting. And we'd like to get our hands on those notes, wouldn't we? Just to kind of verify these claims. And those are two people that are making these claims against our mayor. Now, we've got, I don't know if you saw the Planet today, but we've got some interesting photographs that were taken by the Berkshire Eagles ace photographer, Ben Garver, our good friend. And Ben, of course, you've seen his work for years and enjoyed his work. He's got what all good photographers and videographers and filmmakers have, and good artists, too. The visual eye that can compose instantly on the spot. And you really have to do that when you're a photographer. Do we have those pictures, gentlemen? Yeah, there is the first one. Now, let me just move over here and kind of, can you move the, shrink it down and get the captions, okay, a little bit larger, okay, good. Now, these were taken, this is another one of Dan Bianchi's Richard Nixon moments. And it reminds me of the story where Nixon, in the height of Watergate, went down to the Florida estate of his friend Bebe Rebozo to just kind of relax, and Rebozo invited him down there, take some time at the beach. And Nixon shows up at the beach all relaxed and kind of like sort of dress pants and open top shirt and wingtips. Who goes oceanside to relax wearing wingtips? Well, this is Dan Bianchi at the Morningside Fitness Walk that the city just introduced. Okay, this is a photo op, so you'd figure take a look at how he's dressed here. This is a photo op to promote fitness and get people in the mood to do some exercise and move around, get that body going. He shows up wearing a white shirt, a blue and red rep tie, and his suit pants. What the hell is wrong with this guy? Now, zoom back out a little bit. I want to get you interpret these captions for you. Did we lose the captions? I guess we did. Can we find those again? Okay, we'll get them in 1 second. But who shows up that way for a fitness walk dressed in a suit? I don't know, except maybe Dan Bianchi. So he's out there, and he apparently, I can't imagine what this guy is thinking. Maybe go to the next photograph, or maybe we have an engineer who could recapture those captions for us, or maybe get out of it and get back into it. Come back and put the camera on me and you fish around for that website again. And these are just some of the little glitches that come our way when you're doing live TV here. And we'll do our best with this. Let me see. Oh, I'm on this camera. Yes. No, none of that now. I'm going to sit down and there we go. Whenever I'm from time to time depressed and a trauma wells and swells within my breast, I find inside. Here we go. In this picture, a prematurely aged Bianchi, as soft, flabby, and as pasty. This should get a laugh, I think, as the Pillsbury Doughboy holds up his arms while pretending to be a Piper Cub ready to take off for Pittsfield's sister city in Ferguson, Missouri. Word has it that he crash landed. He certainly did. Go to the next one. That was pretty funny. Photo number 2. Here, Tess can be seen teaching the children how to give a proper Sieg Heil salute. We hear that Bianchi got the idea while watching a History Channel documentary on Joost for Hitler. We know the mayor is quite a history buff. I wonder if he taped it. Und anhand mein bitte wiederholen Sie into the next slide, please. Kommen Sie mit mir. Photo number 3. In this photo, Tess walks with a woman of color. I mean, he is. It's right there. Now, you remember this guy, our illustrious mayor, is currently stand accused by a Medford businesswoman who is black, African American, whichever you prefer, of being a racist. That's a charge that the Human Rights Commission is dealing with right now. But there he is walking, appears to be a woman of color, certainly on his, let's see, that would be his right. He's got his bodyguard there. He's a yellow belt. That's one step down from a plaid belt in Tai Chi Jeet Kune Do, the coveted plaid belt. So let's zoom back out and we got the caption. Little bit more. In this photo, Tess walks with a woman of color. That's news in and of itself. Observers liken the rare event to the appearance of Bigfoot skinny dipping in Loch Ness during a meteor shower under a supermoon. That's pretty rare. Perhaps some of his best friends are Negroes. Could be. Let's go to photo number 4. This is Ben Garver's great work. Oh, this is Newt Rockney making the halftime speech. And, you get the troops whipped up so they're ready to run through the walls of the locker room. He's trying to this is the mayor giving his pep talk to all the people who, the 3 or 4 that turned out there, anyways. There were a few more than that. And as you can see by the looks on the faces, wouldn't you call that wild interest? Zoom in on those 2 young people there to the left-hand side. Can you do that without losing everything? Yeah, okay. They're hanging on his every word, aren't they? They're hanging on his every word. Let's go to the caption. And, okay, well, the empty suit makes a rousing speech on taxes in front of what used to be a house of God. As you can see, the rapt, energized crowd hangs on his every word. The Planet cannot confirm the rumor, however, that several within listening range of the mayor's speech were driven into comas, brain damage, and chants of, "I am not a bully." We'll move on now, I think, to our final Ben Garver photograph. Ah, yes. It's sort of the answer to why did kamikaze pilots wear helmets, but here you see the mayor in this odd pose, inspired by one of the children. And look at that. He's sort of banking in for what looks to be an 8-point, 12-point, 15-point landing. Let's get that caption up here. Inspired by one of the children. Because you remember, folks, it's always in this town when they raise their taxes, when they want to build a new $200 million school. It's for the children who asked him about his current popularity. Well, the mayor answered by doing his impression of a kamikaze pilot banking downward on a one-way plunge into the Pacific Ocean after missing its target. There were no survivors reported. We speak metaphorically. And this, if you could go, can you zoom out to the entire website? You'll see planetvalenti.com there. And that's what my homepage looks like. You see these lovely photographs of yours truly. And that's it. Okay. Now we're going to go up. Do we have those transformation scenes available? Out in our audience tonight, we'd like to introduce we have some celebrities here. I think Bill Sturgeon is in the house somewhere. Come on, stand up, take a bow. Yes, we do. Oh, wait, bring it back again. I got to give the intro to this. Now, this is, can you bring it back? Or just stop it there. Just stop it right there, and then we'll pick it up. Last week, we did a feature that proved to be pretty popular, judging by what we heard afterwards with some mail we got and people who ran into the planet here and there and out and about. And it was a transformation scene, exclusive footage that we obtained exclusively of the moment that Mayor Bianchi became a politician. And we showed him, he appeared normal, and then it hit him. All the power went to his head. He, for a moment, thought he was on a cliff in France, dancing with hula girls. And then he transformed into this creature. Well, we've got more footage. The first one shows, and you'll notice between these two, and when we show the first one, we'll stop after that, a certain eerie similarity that we want to point out. Now, this is footage... Yeah, this is footage that the planet took, one of our photographers, of Joe Kapansky, husband of Mary Jane Kapansky, the little guys in this town. Mary Jane and Joe Kapansky, the ones who wake up, do the living and dying in this town. They go to work, they pay their taxes, which have gone up every year for the last 30 years, except for 2, a compounded tax increase that we have not even figured out, but might even be in triple digits for all we know. We heard from last week from a homeowner who in 10 years, his taxes have gone up $1,400, absolutely at the end of it. He does not know how he is going to pay for this year's tax increase, ladies and gentlemen. You should not accept this. And remember, in 2015, during the campaign, there was one issue, and that issue is budget reform. Get the city budget under control. It can be done. If it's not done and you elect another person who is on the inside that keeps the gravy train going, this time for 4 years, then it's going to be over. So just a little campaign thought there. Here's what happened to Joe Kapansky when he found out that he was going to have to pay more taxes this year. Can we show that? Feats, do your stuff. There it is. Did not have a good effect, did it? Oh. Tell you what. You could be in the Paralympics with those legs. And stop it right there. Here is alternate footage that we found of the mayor at that precise moment. And this was a moment where his conscience got to him. And this is what happened to him. This is Dan Bianchi. We won't tell you how we got this footage. Apparently, I don't know if it was the corner office, his bedroom, his office at Global Larry Mondello. But can we punch that up right now? This is what happened to the mayor. Yes, his conscience is bothering him. I have taxed people out of house and home. I have driven them out of the city that they love, that I once loved. Oh my God, what is this doing to me? What? I will text him today. Yes, subscribe to PCTV and subscribe to Planet Valenti Television as we try to find our way back onto your screen here. Suddenly we're all in the dark, but I'm still with you. I hope they can hear me. Yes, there we are. And we'll take another sip here. So you see that politics is a nasty business. Really is. And I guess, only good public servant is the one that can campaign for power, obtain power, hold on to power, and use power in a responsible and selfless way. And that is not, in our humble opinion, what we're seeing now from the corner office. This guy is afraid to talk to the planet. He's afraid to talk to the Berkshire Eagle, apparently. He's not returning phone calls of anyone who is on his enemies list. And that list is growing from what we hear. And Mayor Bianchi, you're either watching this or you have one of your stooges watching the show. I'm not sure if it's Mo, Larry, Curly, Shemp, Joe Besser, or Curly Joe Dorita. It's one of them. They're watching the show. Invite the mayor for me, will you, to come on our humble set here and answer some questions. Short of that, I'm going to issue a challenge right now in public, and I'm serious. I'm serious about this challenge. I will challenge the mayor to 3 rounds in the squad circle for charity. Judging by the shape he looks in from those pictures, I don't know if it would be a fair fight, but don the gloves, Mr. Mayor. We could raise a hell of a lot of money for a good cause. We split it down the middle. 50% goes to your charity, 50% goes to mine, which is Planet Valenti. No, which is, excuse me, I forget what my favorite charity is, but we'll do that. Let's have a boxing match. 3 rounds. I'm serious. I'm in good shape. Tell you that right now. Okay? Cut me, Mick. Cut me. I'm in good shape, and I'm willing to take up the challenge if you are. Or start talking to those who are offering you constructive criticism. You know, Richard Nixon thought that the entire press was after him. They were only after what he did. Someone once asked me who I thought was the greatest president, and I followed the crowd. I think Abe Lincoln was. But I also said that, in my opinion, the man who had the potential to be the greatest president was Richard Nixon, an incredible figure to look at his various rises and falls. The guy kept coming back, but he did himself in. And I'll tell you, the similarities are there. Common complaint that you hear about the mayor is that, who is this guy? He's not the guy we elected. What happened to him? Only he can answer that. Is he in fact the mayor, or is it his wife? That's an interesting question right there. And we could ask him ourselves. In fact, do we have the mayor's? Do we have the theme music? Zzz, but do we have the theme music for the empty suit? Dave? Yeah, okay. We're going to bring him out and just ask him a couple questions. This segment won't take too long. I'm having a religious experience. He's coming apart. Crouch. And now meet the one, the only, Croucho. Say the secret word, win $100. It's a common object found around the house. And we're pleased to have the empty suit with us. Yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, since this guy wandered out of the booth, we might even call him on the set in a moment. But there we go. Keep as cool as you can. It riles them to believe that we perceive the web they weave. So keep on dreaming, and together we'll stand hand in hand on the threshold of a dream. Wasn't that lovely? Wasn't that lovely? Now we've got a question, a couple of questions. First of all, And this time he's going to speak, right? He's going to speak to us? Yeah? Is he going to say something? Okay, let's find out. I want to know what's all this crap about 100 North Street? I see. Has the sound of a drill burrowing its way into the fresh root of an exposed crown. Yes. Did you really dismiss Roseanne Friari, in your view, Mr. Mayor, in a proper way? And Mr. Gaetani, a man who is speaking on behalf of Dr. Lawrence K. Wang and himself, and in a partnership that claims to have the capabilities of, again, saving the city millions of dollars on a federally mandated upgrade to the water sewage treatment facility off of Holmes Road. Why don't you at least hear him out? Why do you treat him and Roseanne Friari and Doreen Wade and Rosario Romano and Mary McGinnis, and we could go on and on and on in a way that they all say is intimidating and bullying? And that was your quote, "I am not a bully." First of all, are you a bully? Ouch. Yeah, that about sums it up. And second of all, what are you up to with all of this nonsense? Explain to us. This is your chance. We're giving you an opportunity now on television. Yes, you. What do you have to say for yourself? That's enough. I've heard too much. Let me kindly escort you off of my set. MY set. You think you belong on this set? Well, show up and poisoned, why don't you? All right. Goodbye. As my grandfather used to say, goodbye. That's it. So, this is what we're talking about. And we're having fun with this. Folks, this is satire. We hope it's comedic to some extent, but we're making a serious point. It wasn't Freud, but it could have been, who said that there is no such thing as a joke. Something we prove time and time again on this show. But he said that behind all humor is a serious point. Crying, trying, dying to get out. And the serious point behind all of this is the horrible showing, the embarrassing showing of the city's CEO. First of all, for completely extending, this was already to some extent in the works prior to Dan Bianchi taking office. This overspending, this year after year after year after year of tax hikes to basically feed what has ended up bankrupting many cities across America. We'll say Detroit again because that's the most outrageous example. But year after year of caving in and providing all sorts of perks, benefits, pay hikes, and other post-employment benefit packages to employees. You're saying yes to all of these people for all of these years and no to the vast majority, the taxpayers, we the people who make it possible. And why do they do that? They do it to create apathy Apathy keeps people away from voting, and it enables the suits, the insiders, to energize their. Yes, they love it. They might throw a parade. They love it so much because they know that if you elect an insider, they're just going to feed the gravy train. Yeah, the gravy train. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Every time I say the word gravy train, it, all right, I'm not going to say gravy train again. Anybody who says gravy train is out. The gravy train has to stop. That time I didn't mean it. They're always one step ahead of me. I'll tell you what, Billy, that was the play of the night. I didn't say it. I didn't say gravy train. When I fall in love with something, I fall hard. So, the serious point is that unless you stop feeding the you-know-what, it's all going to collapse. Is that you-know-what is going to... Oh, it's going to jump the tracks, okay? And we don't want that. And the only way to prevent that is to make sure for this next election season that you insist that someone from the outside, someone who is not a suit, and someone that is going to run on the one issue, which is budget reform, it can be done. Folks, we don't have the time to explain it now. It can be done. You could actually, I'm not just saying freeze taxes. You could cut them. Cut taxes. Huh? Doesn't that deserve a rousing cheer? Cut taxes. Yeah. No. There we go. They're still thinking about gravy train. You cannot have this much fun anywhere else. And they wonder why I do this. So, get a candidate who will run on that one issue to which all other issues are tied. And I would love the opportunity to make these points on a campaign trail. I would probably insist, should I run, on weekly debates all over the city. 14 debates. One in every precinct. And make the case. Now, don't read into this. It's not an announcement of a candidacy, but all I'm saying is it can be done. You could cut taxes and not just maintain services, but actually increase services in this city It can be done. And I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, well, that can't be done. If you say that, then you've just proven how effective the propaganda and the brainwashing has been over this last generation. And, you know, the city had some very prosperous years. It really did. And for a while, that sort of had a certain momentum. So it took a while before all of that money kind of worked its way out of the community. And a great source of that, of course, were all the GE employees. And then they retired. The company left town, as we all know, and they retired. But they were still around. They had their stocks. They had their savings. And that money was in the community. Now those people are moving out. Sad to say, that wave is dying off. And that money goes with them. The pensions stop, and whatever assets you have, you know, the kids aren't around anymore. They moved out because there was no opportunity. And now we're not where we were 30 years ago or 20 or even 10. And that's why these last 2.5 and what maybe, if there is not a recall, the Mayor Bianchi will have had 4 years, and he is absolutely, he's the closer. He's going to run this city into the ground if he hands off the baton to friend or foe, to someone else who is on the inside and no matter what they say on the campaign trail is pledged to do the same thing, which is to keep the gravy train going. That's got to stop. It's got to stop. Now we've got a top 10 list here, and this ought to be good for some yucks. You guys ready to punch up some laughs here? All right. We had this sent in from Elias P. Doody, as in Doody. Must be related to Howdy. Anyways, Elias came up with the top 10 political phrases. Phrases you've heard for the longest time. You learned in history and in civics when they were teaching civics in public schools and even in private school, I guess. Modified, though, for Pittsfield. And here they are. We'll go from 10 to 1. Number 10, ask not. Check that. We just took that back. Number 10, ask what you can do for your city, not what your city can do for you. Number 9. Number 9, let's see how sharp you really are. This is sort of a play, I guess, on the Tyler Street festivities that are coming up. Tipsy, are you on Tyler too? Tippy canoe. Number 8, we have nothing to fear but courage itself. Number 7, don't fire men until you see the whites. Number 6, 54, 40, or flee. There's a holdup in the Bronx, Brooklyn, out in fights. There's a traffic jam in Harlem. Where are we? Number 5. I regret that I have but $1 left to give for my mayor. like that one. Number 4. Never have so few taken so much from so many. Number 3. Well, take down that wall, Mr. Bianchi. Number 2. I didn't even announce it yet. This one must be pretty good. The mayor actually said this one. I am not a bully. And finally, this one got a guffaw out of our directors, so we'll see. They'll have to love this one. Finally, the top political phrase modified for Pittsfield. Give me liberty or give me meth. Oh, yeah. Anyways, those were the top 10. Did I see Terry Kinnis in the house? Is he, I thought I saw him available somewhere. I'm going to try to do the impossible here. I'm actually going to try to have a 5-minute interview with Terry Kinnis. He is in the house. Okay. Let's go over to the side camera. Terry, come on in. Good to see you. I thought I saw you wandering in, and yeah, we're all set, aren't we? Is he coming through?
Are we? I guess we are. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it does matter. Are we okay? Do you want me to just use mine? Do you want me to just use my microphone, or okay? Well, we're good. We're good.
All right.
Terry, you saw the early part of the show and a lot of mayhem and silly stuff, but you know, we talked about some serious issues here, and one that we didn't touch on, and I wanted to ask you about because I knew you were kind of looking into this. And that was this report that 600 jobs were created in July in Pittsfield.
When
Terry, help us understand this.
Actually, I got the information off your website, and I followed the link to WWLP and started looking at it.
WWLP, the TV
channel
station out of Springfield,
Correct.
22, had this story posted that the jobs situation grew by 600 in Pittsfield.
Approximately. All right. I don't remember the exact number.
Ballpark.
I know they had Springfield losing 4,700, but
What's the other side?
well,
of the
the other
coin?
side of the story is, all right, I don't know, when you see job count coming out from the federal or the state, that includes part-time jobs, not full-time jobs, part-time also.
Yes,
No, it does include full-time, but in the
But
reality...
it also includes part-time.
Yes.
And it also includes minimum wage jobs.
Oh, definitely, and seasonal jobs.
And seasonal jobs. Now, let me just ask you, wild guess, do you think July in the Berkshires and in Pittsfield might see a spike in seasonal jobs?
Hopefully it does. That's because when
we all know it
Barrington
does.
Stage gets going and a few other
The
responsibilities.
spillovers from Tanglewood, from Williamstown Theater Festival, of course you're going to see that spike.
And unfortunately, though, those jobs are non-permanent.
They're going to
a
go
lot of
away.
people have to work 2 and 3 of those jobs.
Terry,
to
are
make
you
ends meet.
happy with the job that our current mayor is doing?
No. Transparency doesn't exist. Expensing out the pay raises. What did you get back in return? The 100 or is it 100 North Street? I have a question for the pay raises. What did we get back as taxpayers in a productivity increase? And the gentleman, I guess from Richmond, said their whole permitting process is computerized.
It's done online.
Why do we have to have the same people do the same thing over and over again?
And even if they did it that way, they're all under one roof now except for the fire inspectors. This whole move to 100 North Street raises a million red flags.
About 326,000 red flags that'll be coming out of our pockets.
Yeah, those are green flags, by the way.
Green flags,
also
correct.
known as greenbacks, and that could that's for the rent. That doesn't include the cost of moving, and whatever ancillary costs there might be. That could very well hit up to a $500,000 before we're all done.
I don't disagree with you.
And you mentioned transparency. How can he hide when there are these questions out here?
The question that I have that I haven't seen, and I've got to go through Mr. Claremont's petition, is that when we move those there, what are we going to get back in increased revenues? All right? How many more? If you look at the lack of expansion of our tax base, if you can guarantee me we're going to expand our tax base, which you can't guarantee, so we can at least make some money, it's a fool's errand.
It's a fool's errand pursued apparently by a fool by definition. Hey, Terry, we've got 1 minute.
All right.
So I just wanted to get you on the set here. We saw you walking by and just get your take on things.
Well, the big elephant, not to insult the Republicans, is the $130 million high school as it stands now.
Oh, boy. And quickly. Chuck
Right,
Vincelet said it's going to cost the city $90 million.
Approximately, right, including bonding and everything
That's
else.
after the state kicks in their bucks. Folks,
All right.
Terry, thanks
I got to
for...
go back and push buttons.
thanks for joining us on the set.
Thank you.
We're going to wrap it up right here and from here on Planet Valenti Television. Thank you for joining us. Check out planetvalenti.com. Our weekend edition will be up tomorrow. Hope you enjoy that. Glad you enjoyed this show, and we will be back for more fun, madness, mayhem, and enjoyment next week. So long, everybody.
Just